hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean, yeah, let's go outside.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with another video. Today's video I'm actually really excited about because I am going to be doing a reaction on the new Fate Winx saga. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to quickly brief you on it. Winx was a really popular show when I was growing up. I loved it. Me and my sister, it was our favorite show. It was a huge part of my childhood. Me and my sister had the dolls. We were watching the show all the time. It was just everything. I remember I wanted to be one of the Winx. So basically the story is basically about a girl who finds out that she has powers, and she ends up going to this school and where she gets to learn how to use her powers, and she's basically a fairy, and the story goes on and she's learning more about herself and where she comes from and her real family and her real parents, and she finds a group of friends that all have powers too, and they kind of form this little like superhero group, and they fight bad guys, and there's a whole lot of stuff into it. It kind of sounds kind of Harry Potter-ish with the whole like powers and moving to a magic school, learning how to use your powers, but it's more girly and more it's fairies instead of kind of like wizards and witches, if that makes sense. Anyways, it was a huge part of my childhood, like I said, and I loved it. So when I heard earlier this year that there was going to be a live action kind of reboot coming out, I got really excited, and I now have just been waiting for them to announce when it's coming out. They finally released it like 2 days ago, I believe, 1 or 2 days ago, and I just wanted to film my reaction and put it up here. If there are any fellow Winx Club, Winx lovers, anyone who grew up with that, watching the show, anyone who had the dolls like me, let me know in the comments. Let me know which Winx is your favorite or was your favorite. I loved Flora. She was my favorite. My sister loved Bloom. But as you can see, like with a smile on my face, I am super excited to watch this. But I will say though, I'm kind of a little nervous at the same time because the show was just so near and dear to my heart. And it's such a huge part of my childhood. So I'm a little nervous to see what it's going to look like, and what the girls are going to look like, and just what just everything. I hope it's really good. I know that it's being made like by Netflix, so I have like higher hopes. Then I feel like the budget will be bigger with Netflix. I'm really happy that it's not with like the CW or anything like that. So I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm like, it's a mixture of both. I really loved the show. I'm just gonna get straight into my reaction and stop rambling, and then later on I will talk more about it and kind of dissect the trailer, I guess. Anyways, if you guys want to see my reaction, just keep watching, and yeah. Hey guys, okay, so my computer is actually updating right now because I accidentally pressed now instead of later, and now I have to wait a little bit before it will let me get, on the internet, online. So I thought I would just use this time to kind of maybe outline my hopes for this. I think I said in the beginning, in the intro, that I really am excited that this is with Netflix and not with CW, because CW has done reboots and, live action versions of things before. And for me personally, I found that I have lost interest in them very quickly because the writers were just not the greatest. The writing of the shows were not great. That's Riverdale, for example. I was watching in the beginning. I loved Archie. I used to buy the comics. I loved Betty and Veronica and Jughead and all that stuff. And I really actually enjoyed the show in the beginning. And then later on, I mean, I don't know. I know that the show is successful and that it's still running, but I don't watch it anymore. I don't even, honestly, I stopped watching it a while ago. So with that. And also another example is Charmed. Although I wasn't growing up, growing up around the time that was, or I wasn't watching the show when it was on air, the original Charms, I was able to later on like go back and watch the old one, and I really enjoyed it. And now I mean, with Charmed, the new Charmed, it's like, again, I was watching in the beginning and then I just kind of stopped and I got over it, and it's just don't care for it anymore. And because Winx is really something that was, like I said, near and dear to my heart, I'm really hoping this is not the case with this. I really hope, I love the characters and I love the storyline, and I know that I mean, I not know, but I hope, because it's with Netflix, like I said, the budget's bigger. I do follow the lead girl. Her name is Abby, like me. And I've seen her in other work before, and I ended up following her earlier this year, and that's how I found out about Winx being remade. And I mean, she did mention that they were filming in Scotland, and I'm like, oh my God, Scotland is so beautiful. So I'm really excited to see like the scenic shots and like the school, and I'm really excited to see the editing for their powers and like how it's gonna look. I'm really excited to see, I hope they include the boys, Sky, and I think Brandon was Stella's boyfriend's name. So I'm really excited to see all that stuff too. What else? For me, like my favorite were Bloom, Stella, and Flora. Flora was my favorite. I loved it. Stella was kind of sassy, a little bit of a brat. I loved that. I loved that Flora was kind of like really shy and quiet, and I loved her powers, that like her powers involved nature, and she was like the nature girl, the one that had like flowers and was able to make like things grow and stuff like that. That was her power, and I loved Flora. She was the doll that I had. My sister loved Bloom, and I loved the storyline of Bloom, just finding out that she was adopted and that she, you know, her real parents and actually where she comes from, and like that she's really actually very powerful and all that stuff. I could go on and on and on and on and on about the show. I love the show. I loved the show, and I just really hope this lives up to it. So I'm really nervous, but I'm really excited at the same time. I know that I should probably go in with thinking like, give it its own chance, blank canvas kind of thing. But at the same time, all my memories are still in my brain. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. Is it okay? Let me see if this is working. Okay, yeah, it's working now. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay guys, I'm about to start. I'm like really nervous, but I'm about to start. And yeah, so it looks like the title says teaser and date reveal. So I don't think this is the full trailer, but it's only 1 minute and 14 seconds long. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay.
Watch where you go, I'm an animal. You don't wanna dance off with the devil.
Bloom has the potential to be one of the most powerful fairies the world has ever known.
And I'm about to go. Dance with the devil. Oh,
You deserve to know what I am.
watch where you go. I'm an animal.
Okay guys, so I just got done watching the teaser. So it's coming out January 22nd. And basically what I have to say from just watching it is it looks different from what I expected. I guess I just had so many ideas in my mind. Doesn't mean I'm not going to still watch it. I still want to watch it. It does look somewhat interesting. I think the first thing I'll say is, though, the school looks really good, and I think that's why they filmed in Europe. In Scotland, the buildings there, I think the architecture in Europe in general is, you know, they have a way of making things having things that are old look beautiful, and I think that's why they have very big buildings there, and I think it's going to look great. I think the school is going to look great. I will say though, I think the girls don't exactly I don't think they were what I imagined, which, I mean, it's fine. I watched a cartoon and these are real people. I will say the first thing is the cartoons of the Winx girls, they looked a lot older. They were playing young girls. I mean, 16-year-old, like high school kind of girls, high school girls. But they looked physically, I mean, a lot older. They looked like they were in their mid-20s. They looked more womanly than girlish, if that makes sense. Whereas the girls in this trailer look like young girls. They look like 16-year-olds, you know, playing. I mean, they just look young. So I think that's probably the first thing that I noticed. The boys are in it. So, I mean, Sky's in it. We obviously saw that. I think that brunette that we saw at one point was Brandon. That's Stella's love interest. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It was only a minute long and it is a teaser. So they are probably going to release a full-length trailer. It is coming out a lot sooner than I thought. I think they probably got obviously finished filming way before COVID was, you know, this intense, and they were just working on editing it and putting it together when the lockdowns happened. So that's why it's coming out January. So I'm really excited for that. So it's going to be one of the new shows that come out in the beginning of 2021. But I'm really definitely going to be going into it trying to give it its own chance. And that means kind of maybe taking my memories and putting them in the back burner and kind of just trying to give it its own shots, give it a blank canvas. I know just by the looks of it, it looks, there's a lot of a darker theme already is what I'm getting just by the mood of it. It's giving me like the mood of like, again, like I think I mentioned Riverdale and like, okay guys, sorry, the camera just cut out, but like I was saying, it did give me like a reminder. It reminded me a lot of like Riverdale and kind of the darker themes that it has with Riverdale. And I think it's because they're trying to reach an older audience with this show. I think the fact that it's on Netflix will give it the chance to be a little bit more, I guess, not G-rated. I think the CW is like strictly PG-13 shows. They don't rate anything like R-rated on there at all. Most of the shows are just PG-13 or TV-14. I think that's the rating. I don't know. But with Netflix, I think they're going to be able to push it a little bit more with different aspects of the show. I mean, I don't know how or what they're going to do with it. It was a children's show before. It was a cartoon and it was for kids, and it didn't have, I mean, there were some episodes that had, you know, darker themes, but it was never, overall, it was a very magical and happy land. So it wasn't very, dark. And I think it's because they're trying to reach a older audience and get, you know, people that are, I mean, I think obviously the people that watched Winx are my age, and I'm, you know, in my early 20s, and they're gonna try to attract us. And I mean, I guess now it's, you know, nostalgia can only run for so long, and because it's a show and they're gonna want to keep it on for a long time, they're obviously gonna want to keep us interested, and I guess making it have darker themes will do that. So naturally, I think that's kind of what I expected. Because we've seen the CW do it with Charmed, and we've seen them do it with Riverdale. But I mean, overall, I'm just going to sit back and wait for the 22nd and just watch and see what happens. I hope that the acting is good. That is my basic prayer for this. Like right now, I'm willing to go in with like an open mind and an open, like a blank canvas. I just pray that the acting is good. I do know that the lead girl that is playing Bloom, her name is Abby, like I said earlier in this video. I follow her on Instagram, and she's actually going to be starring in a movie that's coming out in 2021 called Redeeming Love, which I'm actually really excited for. It's a book so it's an adaptation. Haven't read the book. I've been contemplating on whether I want to read the book or not. I've heard great reviews about the book and stuff like that, and I do it seems interesting. I've read the synopsis, but I kind of just want to wait and hold off and just kind of watch the movie, and then maybe later I'll read the book, because oftentimes, like I've said before, books are better than the movies, and then you get your hopes up and everything kind of ugh. So I think I'm gonna just watch the movie, give the movie a shot, and then give the book a chance. But that being said, as far as all the other actors on this show, on the new Winx adaptation or like reboot, I pray that they can act. That's I think the number one thing. Also, I hope the writing of the script is good. So as long as the script is good and they can act, I think we'll be able to get somewhere. As far as, I will just say visually, I don't think it's exactly what I imagined in my brain. And I think because I was such a fan of the show, it's, you know, it's kind of not going to be what I imagined. And also it was a cartoon. I know it was a cartoon, and this is like real life. And so when you're doing that, it usually doesn't match, I guess. But we'll see. I just feel like the girls from the show, from the cartoon, were just like so, I don't know, magical. I just remember wanting to be them, and I wanted to be a fairy with magical powers, and it just gave you that excitement. And I think maybe it's because I was watching it through childlike lenses, and maybe that's what it is, and I don't know, but we will see. That's what I'm going to leave it at. We will see how it goes and how it turns out. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think of the teaser. Are you guys excited? Are you guys nervous? Are you just nervous from watching the teaser alone? Let me know who your favorite Winx fairy was in the comments. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. Let me know how you guys are feeling about this. I know if any of you guys are as like loved the show as much as I did, you're probably going to be a little bit passionate about this. I don't know. But yeah, leave a comment down below. Please subscribe and like this video if you want to see more reactions. Thank you guys so much for the support and the love that you've been showing my channel. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
We can hang out on the beach.